Good evening, everyone. I was thinking that probably the hardest part about sex inside a prison is that all the beds are singles. I was walking along the other day and this woman comes up to me, says, "Excuse me, sir, do you have the time?" I said, "No, ma'am. Time is actually a unit of measurement determined by relating the Earth's rotation on its axis to its orbit around the sun. It's not really something you can own or give away." If you die in your sleep, but it's while you're having a dream of your own birth, does it still count? Good to see you folks are all laughing. But some people, have a lot of trouble. They can't necessarily get a chance to laugh because a lot of tough things they have to go through. A friend of mine, Maria, she had some bad trouble recently. She was in New York City, and she was giving a speech about feminism. Unfortunately, during her speech, a group of Irish misogynists started heckling her. And I don't know about you folks, but I hate to hear about cases of oppression by the patriarchy. So afterwards, I wanted to spend a little time hanging out with her. Hadn't seen her in a while. So she's telling me about all the things that are going on in her life right now. And she's like, "Oh, Shawn, I just got into a new relationship with this guy, David. He's a vegetarian." And I said, "Oh, is there any particular reason you started dating a vegetarian?" She's like, "Well, at my age, I have to start thinking about what I put in my body." So she took me to the health food store that she likes to go to, which was pretty cool because they had a bunch of products that I had never seen before. One of them was an existential brand of milk. Why are we here? They also had some philosophical products for pets. Schrödinger's cat food. It both is and isn't what a cat wants. I can tell you a little more about myself. I'm an atheist, but I am very good friends with a priest for insurance. Like I said, I'm an atheist, but I have had some experiences that haven't necessarily made me believe, but it made me question some of my assumptions, because a cousin of mine had every single one of his prayers granted. You see, he'd get up every Sunday morning, bright and early, put on his nicest clothes, go to his church, he'd go right there and he'd get down on his knees and he'd go, "Dear God, please let tomorrow be Monday." I think that sometimes certain groups can just have a bad reputation that's really hard to ditch, and so rebranding can help them a lot. So starting next week, I'm going to be selling a brand of Band-Aids called the Gaza Strip. As I said, I like to read the news a lot, and one of the things you often see in the news, they're often talking about like depression. Who's the most depressed? Are women the most depressed? Are men the most depressed? Are young people the most depressed? Who suffers the most from depression? And you know who I fear suffers the most from depression? Scuba divers. One of the other interesting things I saw on the news was that right now, for only $5,000, you can build a completely self-sustaining, off-the-grid home in an old storage container. Or you can give up your delusions and move on with the rest of your life. I'm an old-fashioned guy, and I really believe that children are best seen and not heard. And that's one of the many reasons that I've made good friends with a pediatric surgeon who specializes in vocal cords. I'm 30, but I really like to tell people I'm 29. Not because I'm afraid of aging, I'm just deeply fascinated by prime numbers. Well, I was driving here, there's a sign you see a lot. I'm coming from New Jersey, so there's a sign there that the Extortion League, the police that they call, they've put this sign up that basically says, "You drive, you text, you pay." And I think that's a really good motto for encouraging safe driving, but also good for telling our young people the process by which you acquire narcotics. Well, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. My name is Shawn.